Hi there YouTubers, welcome back to my channel, Workshop Fun. Well, today I'd like to post a little update about the things that have been going on lately. So the first thing I'll talk about today is there's been a lot more cable management done. It's taken me quite a bit of time, but it's looking tidy and neat now and everything's secured. Once again, I use these things that you can buy from an auto electrician or auto electrical shop. They have double-sided tape and you stick them on, and you can also screw them on, which I always screw them on too so they don't go anywhere. So I use those, and in between each of those there's a zip tie as well to just help with securing everything. So all in behind the fridge got done, all through here. This lead is nicely secured to the wall now. Okay, and then moving through here, these are all done, nicely secured to the floor now, and I even managed to find a better connector for my water pump and installed that. I mean, none of this looks like much, but it all takes a lot of time, and the reason why I'm doing this is, you know, when you're traveling along the road, you don't want anything jiggling around, rubbing against something, creating friction, and then causing unwanted cracks in insulation or in water pipes, you know. So it's nice to know that that's all done and secured. Okay, moving right along, coming through to the bathroom, I have reinforced this towel rail. So there's now a bit of solid wood through here. I actually had to make this out of two pieces, and then I glued and screwed this wood into the bottom of the cabinet, and then sanded it all and blended it all as best I could, and then painted it. And then also, while I was doing that, to turn around and get rid of the end grain, you can see here in the mirror, I'm just trying to, there you go, there, I managed to get rid of most of the end grain, so that's nice. And now the reason why I did that is because this towel rail, just being attached to the base of this cabinet, always moved and flexed, and it actually would work itself loose. It seemed to be a thing that the towel rail did there, so I decided I'd reinforce that. Yeah, once again, to just make that neat and tidy, it all took time. Like, you know, you look underneath here, and I tried to get rid of the ugly seam where the wood meets the sheet of ply of the, you know, the base of the cabinet. And yeah, so I used no more gaps and carefully blended it all together. So that was a bit of fun, and, you know, painting it all and trying to make it look as nice as possible. And yeah, I'm overall pleased with the result. So we'll move right on. Okay, another milestone today. After about a year of it being unattached from the floor, the bed is finally reattached to the floor. Now what I did is I went to the Mitre 10 and I brought these 14 gauge 50mm long roofing screws, and I had to either drill out or drill new holes into the bed, and then I attached, you know, I screwed the screws in using the rattle gun, and also the same resin that was used for restoring my floor, I also smeared all over the thread and, you know, glued. So these are now glued and screwed into the floor. So that resin should really help these adhere to the floor. So that's nice. I can't remember how many I used, but there's plenty in there now, and this bed won't turn around and go anywhere. Before, you know, I think it had just had ordinary screws, if I'm remembering correctly, screwing it into the floor, and when it rattled along the road, obviously it just slowly sheared it from the floor, so that became quite a problem. So now it's all fixed and well and truly fastened down, and once again it's stronger than the day it rolled out of the factory, so that's quite nice. Okay, moving right along to the next thing. These suburban water heaters tend to dribble a bit out this overflow tap, so they have a 1/2 inch thread in them, and what you can do, and by the way, I take no credit for this idea, my good friend Frank, who's helping me restore this caravan, gave me this idea, and to me I think it's fantastic. So what you do is you get a old tap faucet which has the braided hose on it with the 1/2 inch female fitting on it already. You get a bit of 1/2 inch threaded rod and you screw it into your overflow tap, and then you can then screw the braided pipe straight into the threaded rod, and you just use a bit of thread tape. And then what I did is I brought it down and I drilled through the floor and also the rubber grommet and sealed the rubber grommet in around the braided pipe, and now that goes right through the floor and comes out here, and instead of dripping, so for now this is in a workshop and it's just dripping straight into this bucket, but instead of dripping in here like they do naturally and building up this pool and then slowly leaking out the side, it now just drips down onto the ground, kind of like what it should do from the factory. And of course I made sure that the hole was a reasonably tight fit, and that held this quite firmly in place away from the gas burner while the adhesive's curing, and once the adhesive's cured, that will never be able to move anyway. So yeah, that's just a pro tip. Lots of people have suburban water heaters. I would strongly advise doing this idea because it just saves corrosion in your water heater area, and it also just saves your hot water cylinder just dripping anywhere and everywhere. It actually concentrates it to one little area. So yeah, just a pro tip for anybody who's interested. Okay, the other one that's happening lately is the wheel well has now come out, and where Frank restored the wall, he's now just building up some fine layers of ply, so then the plastic wheel well can go back in and marry to the wall nicely and be all sealed up nicely and strongly attached to the wall. So that's getting done. And also the other thing that's been getting done lately is I turned around and spent some time on all 4 torsion arms actually, and rust treated them, because these are just cast iron or cast steel, and they always get a lot of rust on them. So I turned around and cleaned all of them and then rust treated them and then painted them with silver hammerite paint. So all 4 of them have been done, so they should be good for years to come now and well and truly protected. The other thing I've done, which I can't really show on camera, but I have underneath the floor turned around and given any little areas and the big areas a bit of a repaint with gloss enamel and then flat black enamel, because it's flat black underneath there. So for example, when I was drilling through the floor and putting the dowels in, that turned around, and when I whacked the dowels down, the dowels pushed through a bit of the bottom sheet of the ply here and there, so I sanded all of that and then turned around and re-waterproofed it all by painting underneath there and turning around and, you know, sealing it all back up. And also where I've gotten rid of other things like the old heating vents and stuff like that, and where I've sealed over them, I've been painting all those up too, so they all just sort of blend out now. So that's looking really good and tidy underneath there now, and really strong, which is nice. Okay, well that's about all for now. Doesn't sound like much has been done lately, but all of that actually takes a lot of time. It's detailed work and fiddly work and not very nice to do. Everything's slowly getting there. This week I intend on putting the vinyl on the walls that I've wanted to do, just this little area and this little area here, and then after that I can reattach the other sheet of ply that goes over this side of the bed, and then this will then once again be under bed storage, and the bed is basically nearly back together. The other, that was one other thing. The other thing I did today too is I've put this bit of wall that attaches to the bed back in. Once again, that's been out for a long time, so that's all back in, and my custom wooden trim fits in here nicely. I don't know if I've explained before in a video why that's there, but I have my big blower fan down underneath there. It's quite hard to see, but I can try and show you through here. So there's my big blower fan, and of course the plug up the top, so that kind of intrudes on where the wall used to go, so I had to cap off that and shorten the bit of wall in, and then I'll just build a nice top cap along here, so you'll hardly notice anything was ever added. And that's that's my main blower fan in the shower area as well, so that blows the air through this way, and then the other fan up there collects it and takes it up, so there shouldn't be a huge condensation build up in here when I'm having showers, which is quite nice. Or if somebody's used the toilet, it's quite nice for that too. And that fan there will just simply be controlled by my remote control through my Wi-Fi gateway. Okay then, that's about all for now. I hope this video has been informative of what's been happening lately, and if you have any more questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you. Bye.